It's dress-up time in Jerusalem, as the festival of Purim takes place this week.
Purim is a joyous event that commemorates how the biblical Queen Esther rescued the Jewish people from mass slaughter in ancient Persia. Often referred to as the Jewish Halloween, it involves colorful costumes and celebrations. This year, 6 buildings and cultural institutions across Jerusalem have been disguised as monsters. The quirky characters are the works of Ukrainian-born designer Adi Anna Telezhynski. She's a famous costume and art installation designer who's invented many characters that have appeared on TV. The media line caught up with Telezhynski to ask her about her Purim project in Jerusalem.
The municipality of Jerusalem contacted me to make, for Purim, to make costumes for buildings. And these were COVID times, so we had to come up with like really creative ideas how to celebrate. So I thought costumes for buildings are an awesome idea, and I designed a few creatures. Some of them are monsters that are kind of eating buildings, and some of them are monsters that are like possessing the buildings from inside. And a few of them are birds, which are very like costumey.
While all of the designs are eye-catching, perhaps the one that stands out the most is the purple monster on the side of the Beit Ha'am building, which is part of the prestigious Bezalel School of Art and Design, where Adi herself studied.
This one was designed to be a kind of a spirit of the building. So when I approach this kind of temporary sculpture, right? That's what it is, I think. I take into consideration the architecture. There's a really close relationship between the building's architecture and the design of the creature itself.
The installations went up last week, after a lengthy process that involved many talented designers from Israel and further afield.
For this project, I would have like an illustrator and an industrial designer and a 3D modeler, and of course the factory where we actually saw it abroad.
Other buildings graced with the colorful decor include the headquarters of the Jerusalem Venture Partners, the venture capital firm founded by Israel's most famous entrepreneur, Errol Margalit.
I wanted to put some creatures on rooftops that can, kind of communicate with the fact that we are in the open air, and maybe they landed from the sky for a little bit, just for Purim, right? And usually the birds, like motif would be, you have a nest, and you have a few birds in the nest, and you have the explorer bird, or the rebel bird, who is out of the nest and somewhere else.
Each decoration has its own unique character, drawing on inspiration from the design of the individual buildings and their environment.
On the one hand, we have to be very careful with these buildings, so we don't, we treat them almost like jewelry. We don't drill anything. We have to be very delicate with the installation. On the other hand, I also, of course, I take into consideration the history of the building and who's going to see it. And this is eventually it's something that is, should be friendly and happy and, accessible to everybody, from grown-ups to kids.
As the initiative for the project came from the Jerusalem municipality, City Hall itself is one of the buildings dressed up for the festivities.
I believe that the designs are friendly enough that they can work in any environment, even, places like this that have maybe more tension or something like that. The whole process of the design of these creatures is taking Purim into consideration, obviously, being very colorful, being family friendly, being, whimsical and humoristic and funny and light.
It's a new take on Purim costumes.
From Jerusalem, Maya Margit reporting for the Media Line.